historical moment. Now I'd like to bring up Congressman Rohrabacher.
Thank you all very much. And let me just note that for years I have fought against the idea that we should be dealing with the communist regime in China in the same way that we deal with democratic governments. I led the fight on the floor of the House of Representatives against most favored nation status for China all of these years before, actually during the Clinton administration, when they were granted permanent trade status. But let me just note this for those of you who are surprised about the bipartisan nature of this effort. All of those years when I had just come from the Reagan White House and was leading the opposition to most favored nation status for China, the other floor leader was a Democrat, and her name was Nancy Pelosi. So we have very strong support from Republicans and Democrats for the idea of this. America should stand for the principles that America is supposed to stand for. We are not a country that is made up of people who came here from every corner of the world in order just to make money. That's not what America is all about. America is about liberty and justice for all. We have our ideals that were set down by our founding fathers over 200 years ago. And yes, I am someone who believes in the free enterprise system. But our country was based on the idea of liberty, of justice. And when we do not hold firm to those principles, it turns around and hurts us as a country. It is not just something that we are doing, yes, as a gift to the world, but it is something that we realize if we don't stand up to that standard, that it will come back and hurt us. And that's what's happened with China. We have built an economy in China totally ignoring the fact that the Chinese government is still run by tyrants and gangsters. We have now given them great power and great leverage to use not only to keep control in China, but now in a way that threatens all of us and threatens the whole world. So I would suggest this. Our greatest allies in the world are the people of China, the people of Tibet, the Falun Gong, the religious believers who are being persecuted in China. They are our allies. The government of China is the enemy of all of us. I'm very pleased to have just recently formed the Tibet Caucus, which is again a bipartisan caucus with Neil Abercrombie from Hawaii. And let me just say this, that although it is focused on Tibet, and we now see that the people of Tibet are being brutalized and murdered again, the people of Tibet are just today's most visual victims of this horrible regime in Beijing. Let us, as we reach out to the people of Tibet and make our stand today, also remember the Falun Gong who are disappearing by the thousands. Let us all remember the religious believers. Let us remember those people who want to have democracy and freedom in China, but are not able to have a newspaper, not able to have a political party, not able to enjoy any of the political rights that we hold dear as Americans. So today, it is my honor to join you in holding this torch of freedom high, and as long having a dictatorial government, which is the world's worst human rights abuser, to have that government host the Olympics is a travesty, it's a shame, it's a dark mark on the Olympics, and none of us should stay quiet while that travesty is happening. So I am very proud to be with you today in holding this torch high and speaking up that the Beijing Olympics will not be permitted to cover up the killings, the repression, the gangsterism that is what Beijing is all about. We side with the people of China, not with the government of Beijing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Congressman Rohrabacher.